There is nothing more terrifying than cosmetic surgery. Not because the results are unpredictable and you might wake up looking straight out of Uncanny Valley for the rest of your life. Not because it's obviously so invasive that you have to get put to sleep during the surgery. And there's nothing more comforting than getting artificially put to sleep while you are at the complete mercy of strangers when you don't have to. And not because these strangers are cutting bones and injecting stuff into you for money. And you don't know how it's going to develop over the course of your life. You don't know if it's going to create new problems in your body down the line. No. The reason cosmetic surgery is terrifying is because there is so much money in it that it attracts the worst crooks when it comes to practitioners. If you try and go look for a reputable clinic where you can see the experience from start to finish and at least feel somewhat safe going through with the operation and all that, you'll find they are very few and far between. Most of them are not reputable at all. And the reason for that is really simple because there is demand. People who seek cosmetic surgery also tend to want to save a buck, even on something as invasive and potentially life changing as cosmetic surgery. Not to mention that it can fail. There is always a very real chance that those kinds of operation end up in more or less catastrophic failure, which is what happened today. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. My point is that most clinics are there to make money, and we live in a world where they can give you a discount because they are taking more risk with your safety, your health, your body. Can we talk about how fucked up that is? Imagine being that doctor who is like, I'm not the best. Sometimes I fuck up people for life, but hey, if they wanted a good service, well, they shouldn't have come here because, well, we're not that expensive. And the fact of the matter is, there is so much money in that field, and this is why they do it. They're just trying to make money and they don't care about you in the slightest. In fact, they willingly prey on people who are naive enough to think it's a good idea to go for the less pricey option or the more practical, as in maybe the best option would be abroad and there's another option that is much closer. I have had this opinion for the longest time, and today I feel justified. I feel some kind of redemption because somebody actually died from this. Okay, maybe this was not the best way to phrase it, but you get the point. This is genuinely how I feel, and even I was surprised because that person died of a BBL of all things. Everyone knows what a BBL is, but in case you don't, I'll catch you up to speed. A BBL stands for Brazilian butt lift and is a procedure designed to make your rear end bigger. And there's actually two ways to achieve this. There's two different types of BBL, and one is more expensive than the other because the first one involves a liposuction. The fat from the liposuction is then grafted on the other side. That one is expensive, so there is another procedure which is called a liquid BBL and does not involve a liposuction, but rather fillings with products, just like lip fillings with Botox. And this one is obviously much cheaper and more dangerous, apparently, because this is the one that went wrong here. There isn't much information about those doctors who performed the fillings, which I don't think they even deserve that title of doctor. The only thing we know so far is that two people have been arrested on suspicion of manslaughter and then released on police bail following the death of a woman in her 30s in the UK, which is just tragic. I wish we didn't live in a world where you can do these kind of things on people for money, even if you're incompetent, because some people actually believe that it is like that. That just because a service is offered to them, then it means that it is okay to do it and there are no risks. And it is safe when it's just not. It should be, but it's not. And unfortunately, so many people are naive enough to trust the system and go for it, thinking that nothing is going to happen to them. And this is exactly how we get those kinds of situations because when you have this kind of demand, there will be an offer on the market. And in this case, the market is just not regulated properly because the standards for the competency of doctors is just way too low. You should not be able to pay less to get something like that done to you if there are more risks involved. It should just not be a thing. Unfortunately, the only time when people wake up and there is action taken is when something as drastic and tragic as this happens. And even then, that is only for a moment. Because the sad reality of it is that this will be forgotten in no time.